Because I need you to internalize that you didn't recover.
True.
That you're the one who's getting beat all the time. That you don't close out. That you never box out. That you don't pass the ball. We need to watch the game.
So what are your thoughts on data analytics and basketball in Africa or Kenya in terms of the technological improvements that are happening within the sport?
It's so important. It's so important. I will tell you, I'll bring you back to Morans. We had a great stint and we were 4th in defensive rating just because of the great work we were doing through video breakdown. We had somebody doing video breakdowns for us where we could read all the movements of opponents. So with Coach Lee, she would do breakdown video sessions. So that really helped. We had a guy who was just a video coordinator, who was all the way from Australia, but he was doing it online. So that gave tangible details to players. The Moran players can tell you plays that are ran by every team that we played against. They can tell the tendencies of every key player we played against. They can tell that Kanute, this is what he does. 2 dribbles here, it goes this way. Jambo, he likes to pull up here or go this. They can tell you. But it's because of technology, because of watching, because of using that. So it helps a lot. And we need to do it here. We don't do it enough. Your own smartphone is enough. All these smartphones can do what cameras do. All of them. Maybe not the same quality for some of them, but they all can. You can all take your own phone and film. Even on Facebook, if you want other people to watch the game, when you go online, you can actually film without it being broadcasted. You know that, right? I can just film for myself and keep that tape and look at it and watch and break it down and show my players some of their mistakes. I had watched a documentary many years ago when I started basketball. That's what made me understand this. It was a documentary from France that said the reason why athletes in Africa and sports in Africa is not the level as in Europe is a couple of things. Number of games played by athletes. In Africa, let's go to Kenya. In the Premier League, we have 11 ladies team. So every team plays, we have 12, I think, right now. So every team plays 22 games in 8 months, right? 22 basketball games. In the NBA, you play 82 basketball games in 7 months. In college basketball, you play around 24 plus maybe the tournament. You play that in about 5 to 6 months also, right? The games are like this. Every week you have a game or 2, right? No athlete becomes good by attending practice sessions only. Athletes need real game situations. So the documentary said it. If you multiply the number of games, the players become better. And the second thing they said was the video. Because an athlete only becomes good by watching themselves. Coach said I was moving wrongly. Let me watch. Oh my, exactly. Where am I going? They're like, exactly, where are you going? We called X, where are you going? Where are you standing? When coach says floor spacing, in the player's head, he doesn't get it. He says, coach, but I saw the rim is open. You say video, pause. Now, have you seen where the defenders are standing? Yes. Have you seen where you are? Yes. Isn't this easy to be guarded? Yes. This is why I'm asking you to be here instead of where you are currently. When you do this several times with players, it becomes mechanical. They understand it. And now they understand the game better. This is what makes the level go up. We don't use enough technology. And that doesn't help us, right? Because our athletes, they always feel like coaches to Nawane has the same right? Because he doesn't see the tape. Coach is like, you don't recover on defense. He's like, what is this coach talking about? I'm always here. If we watch the game, we don't have to have this argument. I've done it with my players, something like, coach, when I tell them, let's go watch the video like, coach, see, lazima to watch Ikitu. Because now they feel ashamed. I'm like, no, we need to watch. Because I need you to internalize that you didn't recover. That you're the one who's getting beat all the time. That you don't close out. That you never box out. That you don't pass the ball. We need to watch the game so that we can have this clear as a fact. Now you're much more open-minded for us to talk about what to do next. Because beyond scouting, the first level of growth is the individual. If the individual doesn't understand the areas of growth, they cannot grow. It's like going to a psychologist. You have to voluntarily go to a psychologist for the therapy to have any effect. If I take you to therapy, there's nothing happening because you're not going to open up because you don't really want to do it. You don't see the reason.
The reason, yeah.
So it's the same. If an athlete watches themselves, they can see their own mistakes and they can realize that they need to work on them. So they become open-minded to your criticism, to saying, okay, how can I fix this?
Yeah.
And then they fix it. So those two things, and our coaches have the tools. I implore them, coaches, take your smartphones, record practice, record your players, watch. Before you can invest in a real camera, just do those simple things.
Yeah.
It will really help you.
Africa Basketball Dreamers Association. Tell us about it. Then you wrap it up with Storms.
Yes. So A.B.D.A, as we call it, Africa Basketball Dreamers Association, co-founded with a friend of mine, a brother, cousin, called Guillaume Gando. First of all, we opened it in Kenya because we consider ourselves Kenyans. We both have the same life, which is his wife is Kenyan, Luo Nyanza, 2 kids. Yes, 2 kids.
The strong genes from Luo Nyanza.
Yes. My kids also, Luo Nyanza, 2. So basically, Kenya is home to us because this is where our kids are. This is where they'll always be. So we opened the foundation here. But it's based on some of the things that we saw in our environments, right? A.B.D.A, our biggest pillar is the same as you know. It's sports, using sports to develop the youth across Africa. But some of our biggest pillars are mental health, because we think it's very important to put the people in the right mindset, the right framework. We always make a mistake. You want to teach the game, you want to teach many things, but you haven't talked about the mind.
Yeah.
How is this person feeling? What is this person's real problem? What are their real fears? What do they feel inadequate about? What do they feel confident about? So we will work with the youth on such aspects. We have somebody in the department just for that, to talk about mental health aspect. We have women and child empowerment. We work a lot on growing them even further. Now, one important aspect about that part for us is this: it's the real issue in the world right now is not really the child feeling confident. It's the child respecting the child that is successful and that is confident, and working with her like an equal. That is where the real problem is. That's where the drama is. And that's what we're trying to work on in our programs. Educate the child that, listen, she is equal to you. And if she's the coach today, you listen to her the way you listen to me, who is the dude, because it's her knowledge that is speaking. If she's the CEO, she's not undermining you. She's talking as a CEO.
Yeah.
You just listen and follow instructions and do what you would have done if it was a man doing the same thing. We are here to educate the child on how to handle that. You can be married to a woman who is more successful than you.
True.
The president of Tanzania, I believe she's more successful than her husband. And apparently she's she's polygamist or something. I don't even know. I was hearing something like that. But it doesn't change anything. She'll go home and she'll do what she needs to do as his wife. So we want the young boys, as they grow, to understand that. It doesn't change our roles. You still take care of stuff. You still do what the man has to do. But her growth doesn't have to. And if she does those things, because she can, it doesn't emasculate you. We're just stronger.
Yeah.
And so, in and out of it, one of the things that we want to focus on locally is career development and educational guidance to the kids. A lot of our kids go to school without being guided. I go to school, I'm just in high school, I study what I want to study. When it's time to go to college, I just jump into something and I graduate not knowing what I need to do. We're going to try to walk kids through career choices. We are partnering with a lot of schools. You'll see us in Nazarene. We'll come and talk to them about putting them on our platform just to expose kids to opportunities available.
Yeah.
What do these universities offer? Where are their scholarships? What does it take to be on a scholarship? We want to make sure that the kids within our programs maintain a certain grade level to stay in our programs, because we will not accept you if you don't want to keep your grades. Because, personal story, I know a lot of players in Kenya who missed the chance to be in USA on the scholarship because they didn't have the grades.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yes.
You want to take the kids that go there, oh, D, can't work.
Yeah.
No, somebody should have told these kids when they were playing for Tigo, Laser Hill, and all these high schools that you need to maintain a B+ and an A-. Those kids have the mental capacity to do it.
They do.
They have intellectual capacity.
Yes.
So we, as A.B.D.A, are doing that. One important part about our program is, unlike what I talked to you earlier about working together as coaches, right?
Yeah.
So A.B.D.A has 12 coaches that we put on board with us. 12 local coaches. These 12 Kenyan coaches are in the different regions that we work in. right?
Yeah.
So we have the coaches Eldoret, Mombasa, different places. And these coaches are going to help us run the structures in those regions. So working together as we sit together, come up with a plan, look at the roadmap, look at what we need to do for Kenya, and then develop a curriculum ourselves that we all execute and implement. So I'll work with these coaches first and show them some of the stuff I know from the NBA and me being around the NBA for the last 10 years or so. And they'll be able to use it, tweak, like I always tell them, tweak it to the realities on the ground and be able to work with other local coaches within the regions. And that's how we plan on growing. Yeah. For us, it's first capacity building. The idea would be that in all the regions, we're going to have centers. So coaches who are working there with other coaches and growing them. That is the long-term plan. We do have a plan also of building a physical academy. We will build a physical academy. We've already started looking at it, already fundraising for it. We'll build a physical academy that is going to have our top 40 athletes who are going to be there, going to go to school and do basketball. But the others, we're going to help them get into good high schools and good local universities, whether it's within Kenya or outside of Kenya. Yeah. Elite, you can try to help them to go to the US and the rest. But that's not that important. The whole idea is to build their minds, is to build their capacities. So those are some of the important things. And lastly, of course, infrastructure. Our plan is in every county that we go to is to always leave a court. So ideally, when we're fully running, every year we'll leave a court in every county that we go to. Every year. We have to leave a basketball court that we've done with bleachers, a good basketball court. Every year. So that by the end of 10 years, we have 10 courts per county that we've built somewhere in the county, and that allows the youth to be able to operate. And that's why we have coaches in those regions, because we want our coaches, we're going to because we'll fundraise to give them resources to have programs in those places.
So 2022-2023 KBF Women's Premier League. Where will your team be at the end of the season?
we would like to surprise the world, but the biggest thing is, look, we had a huge transformation, and for everybody who's been judging us the way they wanted from the start of the season, it's very difficult to get 8-9 new players in a team, and we got them from different places, most from the lower division that came in, others who had been in teams that were supposedly good teams and big teams, they were not being played, so they haven't played basketball in like a year and a half or two. So we had to create a whole team. Our starting lineup changed. We only had one of our starters back. So it was tough for us. We believe that we will have a very good season. I mean, for all those who want to know, Storms every season has been top 4. We've always ended by playing the semifinals and then position 3 and 4. Last year being the first time that we lost position 3 and 4. So our ambition is to go a step higher than what we've always been doing. Can we do it? It's tough. Zetech is tough this year. They've proven their point. Equity has a deep team. They might have started the season badly, but I think they were a bit like our predicament. I think they also had like 6 new players, or so, or 7, so that's hard. KPA is in the class of his own so far, according to me, in this league. I like to be honest about things in the class of their own, so I don't think that it's fair to make my girls look at that as the target for now. I mean, then the rest of the teams are young and they're basically the same as Storm. So I still think that we have a fighting chance against all these teams that are playing, but it all depends. Are we ready now? Where will I measure my team? We're at 60%, 60-65. That's what I think. That's what we are, 65. If we, by the end of the season, by the playoffs, if we get to 85%, yes, I believe we can create we can create a lot of shock in the playoffs. If teams come and assume that is the Storms of the first leg and has been, and if that's how they're going to bring themselves to us in the playoffs, then the surprise will be on them. But I'm very confident in my girls. I think we can get to that level. Our aspiration has always been the finals this year. And speaking to the girls even yesterday after practice, it is still on the team's mind. So I know somebody's going to tell me that, what is he saying? Is he undermining? I'm not undermining anybody. Every team sets its aspiration and its goals. If you fall short, you take note and you adjust for the next season. In the NBA, 30 teams always think they're going to win the league.
The championship.
It doesn't matter. Then somebody else wins. It doesn't make you a bad person when you think positively of yourself. It's nothing to do with other teams. They need to think that way of themselves and come out ready when they meet the other team and win, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when we don't win, we accept it. We lost to Equity, Z-Tech, University of Nairobi, KPA in the first leg. We took the losses. I remind the girls of the losses every day. Every day that we have, I'm like, I don't think you're good until the day we meet those 4 teams that beat us and you win those games or you play differently. I show them the score sheets every day. So that's my target. My first target is that first level. In the return leg, where you tell me you're better, show me. You lost these 4 games. And we know the gaps in all the games. So show me. Either you reduce the gap considerably or you win the games. If you don't do any of the two, then I don't think that we're good enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
And on to the quick-fire segments. Which is your best sports documentary?
Last Dance.
Last Dance.
Yes.
Have you watched the Redeem Team?
Yeah, I did. It's all right.
it?
Also, it comes second, but it's all a bias. It's just because it's about my favorite players. It's because growing up, my mentality is simple. Let's be aggressive. No, we take no prisoners.
Yeah.
And that's what Kobe was doing in the Redeem Team. He was like, I don't take any prisoners. Power is my friend. I don't give a damn. I'll knock him out. That's how I am.
Yeah.
I play against my brother, I knock him out. I did. And people were asking me, I'm like, listen, I'll take him to the hospital after the game. We are playing a game. He's my opponent. I'll knock him out.
Yeah.
So same thing with Last Dance.
Family, yeah.
Last Dance, Michael Jordan, same mentality. I'll knock him out. So that's my mentality. That's why I like those documentaries on basketball.
Okay.
Take him out.
Your best recovery equipment when you are playing or now? I don't know.
I just sleep.
Sleep.
I'm a player who never took glucose, never took anything. I just took fruits or fruit mixtures. Like there's a guy who taught us a mixture, like a bit of pinch of salt here, press lemons and oranges in water, mix, you know, for your electrolytes in your body.
Yeah.
And boom, that was it. Stay hydrated because the salt helps keep the water for hydration.
Yeah.
And the oranges and the rest, electrolytes in your body. That was it. I've never really done much. It's very weird. It's just my bed. My bed or the couch, putting my legs up. So my prayers always tell them, put your legs up. Just let the blood circulate properly. Stay off your feet. Yeah, I've never really done much. But that's mostly out of exposure. I can't lie to you because I played at a time where we didn't know a lot of things technologically.
Yeah. There's this thing that you had with your team, I think was last season or there. Which season was it? When during halftime, spray at the back of the head.
Yes.
What was it helping?
It's just our sprayer is gone away right now. We need our sprayer. We need to get a new sprayer. It's for cooling off your body. It's very important. Matter of fact, it's extremely important to have it for athletes. When you're playing, your blood is pumping. You spray at the back of your neck. The back of the neck is the sensitive part people don't understand. A lot of things from here go through your whole body. So when you just spray here at the back of your neck, it just sends a cooling effect to the rest of the body and it helps you. Gotcha. When you look at athletes, even across the world, that's why in the NBA sometimes they put ice packs on themselves and everything. Just the same thing, it's just cooling effects.
Gotcha. Yeah. Best sports athlete?
Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Best of all times. What else do you want? Huh? Which other sport do you want? It's my best sport athlete.
Michael Jordan.
That's it.
No Eliud Kipchoge.
Best sport athlete is Michael Jordan of all times. It involves everything. Kipchoge is amazing. I'll tell you something. I usually listen to some of the stuff that he talks about. He's amazing because of his work ethic, because of his mindset and his humility. And I think people, when they listen to him, they don't really, they miss some parts. He's humble, but he's very confident.
He is, yeah.
He really knows his worth and his quality. You can't make him feel any lesser.
Yeah. You
can't make him feel like, oh, no. Even if you wanted to challenge him tomorrow, he might just get out and say, let's run. If you feel like you can run against me. So he's amazing. He's a mutant. I don't even know what to say. I don't know if he's created like all of us. He's
setting his own.
Yeah, he's his own competitor. I don't know that there's. I mean, it's a bit like the Tergats of the past. It's like, what you gonna do? This man, he's made to run against himself and a clock.
The clock.
Where's the motivation? How does he get that? Who's motivated to run against a clock? People run against people. How is he running against a clock? So he is special.
He is special.
He is special.
Yeah.
He is. I've not really follow athletics that much, but the little because I watched even the Neo Sport race,
Yeah.
I watched it.
Yeah.
He's special indeed. Good to have mentioned him. He's one of a kind. I don't think we're gonna have one like him very soon. Such people are generational talents. They come once every 50 years or so. Yep.
So having, you know, when I see the Eliud, I see Amonde from KCB, I see Taylor. These athletes locally who gives us hope that Felmas as well.
Mercy.
True. Mercy. I mean, these athletes that should give the young people hope that you can actually do it if you decide to, and if you want to, and if you listen, and if you're coachable. And
yeah, but I go back to those athletes. I'm happy you called their names. And this is to them. The only way it works, which has happened everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll digress. You know the story of Joel Embiid going to the NBA?
Yes.
Who organized the camps? Luc Mbamute. So it's up to these guys that we're talking about. Andrew, organize a rugby camp and start building the youth. Because of your knowledge and your exposure, everybody's child will come and attend this. Tyler, come and do a Tyler Ongoe Okari youth camp every year. I promise you, everybody's going to bring the best kids. You'll be able to get the best kids. Same for the Kipchoges. Do something.
Yeah.
There's no real athletics academy. Athletes are doing well, but there's no real athletics full academy here. You understand?
Yeah.
There are some stuff going on, but where's... So, it's the challenges to them. I'm doing it like I told you. I consider myself a Kenyan. So I'm doing it here. The reason I have A.B.D.A is to do exactly that.
Yeah.
When I'm going to do my camp, I know that because of my pedigree in basketball locally, everybody's going to send his child and say, I know Coach Abel, I trust his knowledge. So that's the challenge I give these other guys. We need to do this. The guys who are ahead that you've stated, Felmas and the rest, Mercy, you need to come and do things.
Yeah.
Do your own camp. It doesn't cost much, but it will do so much.
Yeah.
The impact it has on a kid when an icon speaks to them. Griffin, if you just speak to a kid, you meet kids who remind you of what you told them 5 years ago. You're like, what? When?
Bush.
Yes, and I've met somebody like that who tells you, you gave me a pair of shorts, you told me this, you told me to do this when I'm shooting, and you're surprised, and it's like, yeah, this is what you told me that day. The one-day camp you came. So these guys need to come and do it because they need to speak directly to the kids now to inspire more kids because they've done great. Tyler, I mean, I believe he has played, the basketball he has played even internationally for Kenya, he has really helped Kenya be on the map. He's done amazing. Andrew, like you said, captain. His team did amazing. You get it. So Felmas is carrying Troy. She was best player in the whole USA for a week and stuff. It's been crazy. Mercy's doing great in Spain. It's like, and now I think Victoria's also gone to Spain. I think.
Yep.
So it's those things. It's those things. We just went to work Commonwealth and stuff. See, things are happening.
Opening.
Things are happening, but these guys need to come back and engage the other kids. They shouldn't look at themselves and say, I want to win a game in Nyayo. You're above that. Now you represent so much more. Because all these guys who came back from Commonwealth, everybody locally would like to know what they learned, but these guys don't just open up to your teammates, be open.
True.
Look at yourself as an icon. Every icon does programs.
Yeah.
Just go and say, I'm going to go to the youth of Madari and have a session. Just talk to them, it's enough. You would have spoken to some people, they'll share with other people. You get it, share. Those who are doing it, if they are, kudos. Felmas, I know you work with Swish when you come back to Kenya. Good job. Mercy is always with Storms. She's helped me a lot when she's around. She works with them all the time. Tyler in Eldonets, I've seen him. He was there pushing, helping coach the guys before he left. Keep doing that. Griffin, you double up as a player and a coach in Thunder. When you start playing, push guys and coach, right?
Yeah.
Like Okal for opening his team, Swish. Very good. Let's do more of those things. And last but not, look, those you have to thank, to me, one of the guys you have to thank the most for everything that you talk about here, when you talk about Morans, is Desmond. Because Desmond really spent his own money, his own family money, to build this team. Okay? He invested heavily. It's a thing many of us wouldn't do. We won't even pay transport to a player or to a friend. Whatever you use are millions. So shout out to him. Desmond, that was a great, incredible job.
Yeah.
It has helped the nation. It was selfless as an individual. If tomorrow you have to do a statue of Desmond first. Nobody who has played, just him.
Just him.
Because 28 years was erased thanks to his dream and his effort. So that's the guy. If you want to build a stadium to put a statue of somebody, put his first.
Desmond.
And say this guy helped us.
Yeah.
It's not saying that all the other guys didn't do anything in basketball. But what he did is more selfless than any. All these guys work in corporates, have reached, they have not spent as much as he did.
As he did. Very
as
true.
an individual.
And there's a time I also said, I think I was interviewing either Ariel or Felmas. He's worth the Presidential Medal Award.
Yes, he is.
worth.
But he can't be, because you don't want to tell his story. Because we want to just brush over it. Morans did what? No. When you meet His Excellency, you must be very clear. An individual Kenyan took upon himself to start this journey. Before the government, before anybody else came on board, this individual started the journey when nobody was watching. I was there, I was coaching the team, that's what I'm telling you. Went for a tournament in KCB with the guys, Kenyan Basketball came in, and Butcher and all. So no, he is the one who deserves it. Because 28 years of drought, everybody else waiting for KBF to give them money, waiting for the government to give them money. He said, I'm a player, but I'll put my money inside. It's very different.
Huge.
And like I said, I'm not judging anybody. All I'm saying is let's elevate the person who actually was selfless enough, right, to do it. It's like when we have Wangari Maathai, isn't it?
Yeah.
She did it differently. Others would say, even I know you didn't do it like her. Her, she put her life on the line for it.
Literally.
You didn't put yours. Him, he put his family's future on the line to do this. If Morans don't go to AfroBasket, his wife can look at him and say, you wasted our money for all this rubbish, for a country that has money. You did it individually. So he deserves the country to say, you're a proud child of the nation, we love you.
Yeah.
And he wasn't living here when he was doing it.
He wasn't.
He wasn't. But he was selfless. Hey, please go to Rwanda, here's money. Hey, go to Uganda, here's money. Uganda needs to come. Let me pay transfer for Uganda and accommodation for Uganda to come to Kenya. We play in Nyayo. People can see you guys, ladies and men. He did it. His money. It's what started this ball rolling.
Yeah.
So yes, he's the one who needs a statue erected because of all of what he has done for this game.
Yeah, huge salute to Desmond Owili from Wima Sports. We appreciate what you did, and it's not yet enough to say that, and we'll see what comes up in the near future as we do that as well. Was a great honor having you, Abel. It was an amazing series of just getting to understand basketball within the region and all that. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing all your wisdom and knowledge that you have amassed in over 20 years now.
Yes, sir.
They say life begins at 40. So you're 2 years now, or 3 years, or 4 years?
I'm 4 years old.
4 years old. and still much more ahead of you, I can imagine, in regards to basketball. And we really appreciate that from Wima Sport. We'd like to engage you much more in other things that we are planning ahead, and we're looking forward to great times together and partnership.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Until next time, viewers, it's your host Jermaine from Wima Sports at Osoita Lodge, indeed, where guests become family, and he's now part of the big family. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Yeah, so